Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is July 17th, 2025, and Hansi Flick will have to leave 10 players behind when the team leaves to the pre-season Asia tour. Also, Barcelona have renewed the contract of a very promising defender out of La Masia. And finally, the big bombshell today, Ter Stegen might have to undergo surgery and he could be out for as long as 4 months. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with the news regarding Lamin Yamal's kit, because as you know by now, Barcelona unveiled yesterday's Lamin Yamal's new number, which is of course the number 10, the number that has been worn by some of the greats that have come through Barcelona, including Lionel Andres Messi, the greatest of them all, Ronaldinho, Romario, Rivaldo, and even Diego Armando Maradona. And well, that's not the news because, of course, you already knew that Lamin Yamal was the new number 10. But the news is that it only took 15 minutes, 1-5, for Lamin Yamal's number 10 kit to sell out on Barcelona's website. That's absolute insanity. And, of course, it's proof that, well, this was a marketing success for Barcelona. Now, Lamin Yamal was already the highest selling kit last season. He was the highest selling kit when they announced the home kit during this summer. And well, now that he officially has received the number 10, well, those numbers are only going to skyrocket. And by the way, speaking of kits, Nike, if you're watching this, of course you're not. What's going on, man? You guys suck at stocking. I mean, did you not expect this to happen? Could you not stock extra shirts? Like, come on, get your act together. Anyway, speaking of Lamin Yamal, as you know, he was embroiled in a controversy for hiring entertainers who had dwarfism. I spoke about it a lot in my podcast. Absolutely idiotic. But his father, Munir Nasraoui, has broken the silence in regards to this idiotic controversy. And this is what Lamin Yamal's father had to say. I don't listen to criticism. I listen to my own. And mine is that my son is doing things well. That's it. It's not envy. It's that people, instead of seeing what's close to them, look at what's far away from others. And then they're green with envy. That's their problem. He's turned 18, and he also has the right to enjoy life a little. We all understand that he's a professional sportsman, but he's also a child like any other. Now, Munir Nasraoui also said, hey, if you think Lamin Yamal did something illegal, well, there's a police station. Go report it. Otherwise, didn't really say shut up, but, you know, in other words, he did. Now, of course, Munir Nasraoui here saying, hey, the problem is that people are, well, I didn't say that verbatim, but that is the problem with society. There's a lot of miserable people out there. And instead of working on themselves and working on fixing what's going on in their life, they instead take it out on others by criticizing others, trying to bring others down to their level. And it's pretty sad because, look, if you're miserable, if you're unhappy, instead of trying bringing other people's down to your level, how about you do some work and you step up your level rather than expect others be down at your level. Now, on to the next bit of news, because today was the second day of double session at Camp Barca. As you know, Barcelona have already started the preseason, and I'm very, very excited for this. I cannot wait for this new season. And of course, we're only 6 days away from the team traveling to Asia for the preseason tour, where Barcelona are going to play matches in Japan and also South Korea. And while the news is that Hansi Flick will have to leave 10 players behind. Why? Because there's currently 36 players under the orders of Hansi Flick during his preseason, and only 26 will be able to travel to Asia, with the other 10 remaining behind and joining the orders of Giuliano Belletti, the new coach of Barca Athletic. Now, we're going to have to wait and see who will be traveling with Hansi Flick. Of course, all the members of the first team will, but the question is, who out of the Barca Athletic and the academy players will travel with the first team? Of course, Hansi Flick has called up to the preseason training Landry Farré, Tony Fernandez, Guille Fernandez, Jean Virgili, Juan Hernandez, Ibrahim Diarra, Jofre Torrens, Pedro Fernandez, Dani Rodriguez, and Rooney Bargi. And of course, Hansi Flick has communicated to all these players that the preseason training will be a test to see which out of these players get to travel with the first team to the Asia preseason tour. Now, reports are stating that Jean Virgili, and Jofre Torrens will most likely have a guaranteed slot. Probably Rooney Bargi as well. But out of the rest, who do you think Hansi Flick will take to the Asia tour, and who will stay behind in Barcelona? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, Hansi Flick also confirmed that Gerard Martin, who suffered an injury while with the Spanish under-21 national team, will be completely cleared next week. He suffered an injury to his hand. He will be cleared next week. Most likely he will be traveling with the first team, or I should say 99.9% he will be traveling. And of course, Flick also was seen today during the preseason training really closely with Rooney Bargi and Jan Birgili. Hansi Flick was seen, talking to them a lot, running with them, just completely watching them like a hawk because, of course, Rooney Bargi, Barcelona's newest signing, and Jan Virgili, someone who is showing a lot of promise and could be the solution for Barcelona on that left wing. Now, Hansi Flick also held a press conference after the training. Well, he expressed that he had full trust in Deco and he's happy with what Deco is doing. I mean, let's be honest here. Flick is he's not going to go out and talk shit about someone else in the club. But I think we can all see what Deco's doing. But anyway, Hansi Flick expressed his full trust in Deco and that he's happy with his work. He said that he understands Barcelona's financial difficulties. And of course, it's something that Hansi Flick made it very clear when he signed for Barcelona. He knew, hey, I know you guys have problems. Don't worry. Bring me whatever. I'll work my miracle with them. And that's exactly what he has done. And finally, he did admit that there's currently a surplus in the midfield. And that was a big one because, of course, so far, out of all the midfielders that stayed, Hansi Flick counts on. We'll see if someone leaves or whether Hansi Flick finds a different solution. Now, on to the next bit of news because Barcelona have secured the contract renewal of a La Masia promising player who's no other than Raul Exposito. Now, Raul is a 16-year-old center back who has been at the academy since the pre-Benjamin level. He also plays for the Spanish under-15 and under-16 national teams. He's considered a very promising and reliable center back. He's known for his anticipation, positional awareness, and also ball distribution. But that's not all because Raul Exposito also can play as a right back because he does have an attacking instinct and he is pretty quick. And Barcelona have now secured his contract renewal and he has officially signed his first professional contract because, as you know, once you turn 16, you can officially sign your first professional contract. Thank God Barcelona renewed Raul Exposito. Otherwise, tomorrow everybody would have been like, oh my God, Barcelona missed out on the next Maldini. Kind of like when Cospo left the club, all of a sudden everybody was a Cospo fan. Everybody's been following Cospo since he was 3 years old because when they saw him take his first steps, I guess I should say 1 year old, that's when you take your first steps, or 2 years old. Because when they saw him take his first steps, everybody knew he's going to be the next Maldini. What did Barcelona do? They got rid of him. Oh my God. Thank God they renewed Exposito. Otherwise, everybody would have been his fan tomorrow too. Anyways, let's end with the bombshell today because, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Ter Stegen might have to undergo back surgery and could be out for 4 months. Now, as you know, so far, Mark Ter Stegen has been training alone at the gym away from the first team. Barcelona had communicated that Ter Stegen was suffering from back problems. And, of course, we did not know if that was real or if it was just an excuse that maybe Ter Stegen is getting ready to leave or maybe Flick, isolated him from the team since he was told that he's not going to be the starter. Well, it seems that none of that was true. It was actually real. He was suffering from back problems. And now it's reported that Ter Stegen might have to undergo back surgery. Now, this decision has not been made yet. Ter Stegen will be meeting with the club's doctors and a spinal specialist. And after that meeting, a decision will be made whether Ter Stegen undergoes back surgery or not. Now, if Ter Stegen does undergo surgery, he will be out for 4 months. Now, of course, this could be a good thing for Barcelona in the short term, but a bad thing in the long term, because in the short term, if Ter Stegen is out for 4 months, of course, you know that rule that Barcelona could end up using 80% of his salary to register someone else, like Joan Garcia, kind of like what Barcelona did last season when they used the 80% of salary of Christensen to register Dani Olmo and Pau Victor. Of course, that's only good in the short term because second half of next season, we're going to have that problem again regarding registration. But, of course, the problem in the long term is that, of course, Barcelona wanted to get rid of Ter Stegen. They need his salary off their books so they can register other players. And, well, now with the injury, that's only going to make things a lot more difficult because what club is going to want to sign a goalkeeper that they know he might be out for the next 4 months? That's definitely going to be a problem. But anyways, we'll see whether Ter Stegen undergoes the surgery or not. They're saying if he does improve on his own, he might not need it. We'll have to monitor the situation. Of course, I will be here to to tell you all about it. Thank you for tuning in. I will be posting another video in a few moments. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.